Hello YouTube, I'm Past Analysis, and in this week's video I'll discuss my headcanon of the Earth Pony race. For any clarification on the definition of headcanon, look in the description. I put the definition as well as a link to Digibrony's first random headcanon video for further explanation. So let's get into my headcanon, shall we? I believe all food grown by Earth Ponies is healthier and tastier than that of Pegasi and unicorns. Now, one of my core reasons for headcanonizing this comes from Lauren Faust's quote that Earth Ponies have a special connection to nature, animals, and plants. Though they lack the ability to consciously cast spells like unicorns or to fly and walk on clouds like Pegasi, their connection makes them just as necessary as, and perhaps more important than, the other ponies. Since this is Lauren Faust, the amazing god developer that she is, I assume this quote is accurate to the MLP universe. Furthermore, I believe my headcanon fits into these vague guidelines very well, seeing as it doesn't counter the idea of Earth Ponies having a special connection or being just as necessary as and perhaps more important than the other ponies. On a side note, I believe this quote means something else, that Pegasi and unicorns, as races in general, both do not have any kind of special connection to nature, animals, or plants, and thus farm the same as humans in reality, since Lauren Faust purposely left them out of her quote and didn't mention their connection later on. This just comes down to one of my basic principles about the MLP universe. That when the MLP staff refuse to explicitly or implicitly state something in the universe is different from reality, I assume such thing is the same as reality. Remember this side assumption, I'll be bringing it up later. Getting back to my headcanon, there's another important reason which pretty much convinces me all food grown by Earth Ponies is healthier and tastier. It comes from one of Spike's quotes in the episode Hearthwarming Eve, that
in those troubled times, as now, the Pegasi were the stewards of the weather. But they demanded something in return. Food that could only be grown by the Earth Ponies.
To me, this obviously means food grown by Earth Ponies is better than food grown by non-Earths, since I can't imagine this changing over time, or lower quality food being more desired. When I think of higher quality food, I typically think it's healthier and tastier. That's just me. Moreover, I feel this explains why the Pegasi and unicorns would rely so heavily on the Earth Ponies as their main food provider. Yet, the ability to grow healthier and tastier food doesn't quite explain to me why we haven't seen any Pegasi or unicorn farmers, let alone the results of their farming. Since there is a limited food supply, and I'd imagine ponies can't get the best possible food all the time, Pegasi and unicorn food could still be needed, leading me to believe some other type of pressure has to exist. The most likely reason I feel is that Earth Ponies can grow food at a faster rate than the other ponies. In my opinion, this would surely create an adequate amount of pressure on Pegasi and unicorns, thus discouraging them from farming. It would also increase the food supply and prevent ponies from needing another provider. Additionally, this fits into the previously mentioned Faust quote, since such a power does not counter the idea of Earth Ponies having a special connection. In addition, I feel both of my Earth Pony headcanon ideas, this one and the one mentioned earlier, follow Faust's rule that Earth Ponies are just as necessary as, and perhaps more important than the other ponies. Both powers together make for greater food quality and production, which are greatly needed in larger populations. The real world has actually learned this the hard way, showing firsthand how greater food quality and production can rival good weather and proper sunlight. While I feel these are very nice reasons, they pale in comparison to the episode Over the Barrel, where Brayburn mentions that the Appaloosans, a society consisting entirely of Earth Ponies, managed to grow an entire apple orchard ready for harvesting within a year. He follows up by saying that it took a lot of work to accomplish, leading me to believe the overpowered Zap apple seeds were not used, and the Appaloosans are normal Earth Ponies. Furthermore, since the exact length of an equestrian year has not been explained and there's no evidence to suggest Equestria works under different lengths of time, I'll assume the equestrian year is the same as reality. That said, Appaloosans, just normal Earth Ponies, were able to make incredible time growing an entire apple orchard ready for harvesting within a year, when it usually takes at least 3 years for humans. Therefore, the episode Over the Barrel shows, under my reasoning, that Earth Ponies in the MLP universe grow food at a faster rate than humans in reality. If I combine this conclusion with my earlier statement that Pegasi and unicorns farm the same as humans in reality, and use the transitive property of math, then Earth Ponies do indeed grow food at a faster rate than Pegasi and unicorns. And that's my headcanon. Now, no one has to agree with it, these are just my mental thoughts about the MLP universe. So you can choose to believe anything you want about the Earth Pony race, and even go as far as saying they have no powers at all. Though I hope you don't. Anyways, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the topic as well as any headcanon topics you'd like me to share. Just a heads up, I already planned next week's video to be on the Earth Pony tribe mentioned in Hearthwarming Eve. After that, I'll be choosing my topics based on headcanon requests. Although, I do have 3 other headcanon videos I plan to make and release later down the road. One on the Pegasus tribe, another on the Unicorn tribe, and lastly my entire history from the beginning of pony creation to the time period mentioned in Hearthwarming Eve. Out of these 3, I'm saving the history headcanon video for last. However, I'll be leaving the order of the other 2 up to you. Please mention which video, the Pegasus or Unicorn tribe, you'd rather see first in the comment. And then I'll decide which one to release first based on which video gets more votes from now until February 16th. At the end of that day, I'll reveal the results and mention when that video will be released. Lastly, please give me any suggestions on video format, and thanks for watching.